So the Honor 20 Lite is a £250 smartphone hitting the UK on May the 15th, and the main talking point is of course that tri-lens camera tech mounted there on the back, quite a rarity for a sub £300 smartphone. But is the Honor 20 Lite also a strong option for any gamers who are on a very strict budget? Well, naturally, to answer that question, I've been playing a shitload of PubG Mobile, and here's everything you need to know. So as far as performance goes, the Honor 20 Lite is your typical standard Honor mid-range smartphone. It's powered by the Kirin 710 chipset. We've seen that in a few other handsets, including of course the Honor 8X. And here in the Honor 20 Lite, that's backed by 4 gigs of RAM. Run a bit of GeekBench and you'll find you get almost identical results to the Honor 8X, unsurprisingly. The Honor 20 Lite isn't quite as strong as far as performance is concerned compared with the likes of the Honor Play, which boasts the Kirin 970 chipset and costs about the same these days as well. However, the Honor 20 Lite does of course run Huawei's Emotion UI, and that means it supports the GPU Turbo 2.0 feature. This is great news for the likes of PubG Mobile and some of the other more popular mobile games out there, as it basically helps to maintain a consistent frame rate throughout. I've done a full video all about GPU Turbo, so go check that out by clicking the linky thing, which hopefully has appeared above my head right now, for all you need to know. Now load up PubG Mobile on the Honor 20 Lite, and the default settings that it recommends are the balanced graphics with medium frame rate. Personally, I've found that the game does run quite well on these settings as long as you clear the background tasks. You definitely will see the occasional little stammer and stutter here and there, especially when you're bombing about the place in vehicles, something that quite often causes PUBG to stumble a bit. But the game does continue to run at a strong enough frame rate to allow for swift reactions to any cheeky buggers leaping out at you, all guns a-blazing. Over the course of several games of PUBG Mobile, I managed to register a top 10 finish basically every time, and was only ever beaten due to my own general cack-handedness under pressure, rather than any particular hardware or performance issues. And I also performed a bit of PUBG Mobile benchmarking using the nifty mobile benchmarking tool GameBench, just for a deeper in-depth look at some of those stats. Now, the average reported frame rate was 26 frames per second, and when you have a flick through the chart, you see it does rarely dip below that sort of 25 mark. There were a few little stutters and stammers here and there, mostly when driving in a vehicle. That was where the clearest dip was. It dipped down to 18 frames per second just for a very brief moment. But otherwise pretty stable thanks to that GPU Turbo feature. The average CPU usage of the Honor 20 Lite during a game of PUBG Mobile was around 13% on average, and as you can see by this chart, it rarely dipped above 20%. So overall, the Honor 20 Lite performed admirably when blasting through a good bit of PUBG Mobile, especially considering that budget asking price. But what about the battery life of the Honor 20 Lite while you're gaming? Well, this smartphone packs in a 3400 mAh cell, not bad at all for a 6.2 incher. With all of those background tasks cleared, I found that the battery meter tended to drain around 24% hour while gaming with PUBG Mobile non-stop. So you can expect just over 4 hours of constant gaming action from the Honor 20 Lite per charge. That is of course not quite as good as the Honor Play once again, which packs in a slightly beefier 3750 mAh cell and can generally be going for between 4.5 to 5 hours with PUBG Mobile. Thankfully, the good news is that full view display is definitely well suited to PUBG as well. It's definitely a very good size to make hitting those buttons not too fiddly, while that dewdrop notch has little to no impact on proceedings as well, and the responsiveness seemed perfectly fine throughout. So that right there is how the Honor 20 Lite performs under pressure with a bit of PUBG Mobile action. Not too bad at all for the asking price, but if you are a demanding gamer, then for this sort of price point we would recommend the Honor Play instead. The performance has just got that slight bump over the Honor 20 Lite. So what do you think of the Honor 20 Lite? Are you tempted? Definitely let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you!